Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you've been watching from anywhere across the world. My name is Dr. Sarumo Mohammed Boluwatife, and I am a food systems marshal. In the next couple of minutes, I will be taking you through something that is an insidious problem called antimicrobial resistance. Antimicrobial resistance indeed is a ticking time bomb. First, let's start by defining antimicrobials. Antimicrobials are agents that destroy, that is, completely kill microorganisms, in which case they are bactericidal, or they inhibit the growth of microorganisms, in which case they are bacteriostatic. Antimicrobials are also sometimes called, in popular parlance, antibiotics. Antibiotics have a wide range of uses, and they are used in human medicine to treat your infectious diseases. They are used in cattle medicine. They are used in sheep and goat. They are used in rabbitries. They are used in poultry medicine, aquaculture, and the list is endless. Now, what is antimicrobial resistance? Antimicrobial resistance happens when microorganisms like bacteria, viruses, and fungi, and other parasites evolve and become resistant to the very medicines intended to destroy them. This resistance threatens our ability to treat even the most common infections. Why should we care? Imagine a world where a simple cut could lead to untreatable infections. Imagine a world where a simple toothache can lead to loss of life. This is not the kind of world we want to live in. We will be going back to a pre-1928 world where simple basic infections proved fatal. Before the invention of the antibiotic penicillin, simple infections indeed were dangerous. Antibiotic resistance has begun a long time ago, and it continues to be a problem to this day. Today, the sources of antimicrobial resistance in our food include, but are not limited to, livestock, aquaculture, crop production, food processing, environmental pathways, and human practice. In livestock production, overuse, misuse, and outright abuse of antibiotics have led to antimicrobial resistance. In aquaculture, the use, the misuse of antibiotics in fish medicine and the allowing of fish and such contaminated water to run off into the environment has led to the spread of antimicrobial resistance. Though uncommon, antimicrobials are used in crop production to combat certain diseases. Food processing and handling is also an important aspect of antimicrobial resistance because cross-contamination from otherwise contaminated parts to relatively sterile parts can lead to the spread of antimicrobial resistant bacteria into our food systems. Environmental pathways. All your antibiotics, whether you use them on the farms, in the hospitals, and in your homes, eventually enter into the drainage systems and contaminate the environment, making microbial populations become inevitably resistant to some of the antibiotics that we use. In human practices, the abuse, the misuse, underuse of antibiotics, and the use of antibiotics without a proper prescription has led to widespread antibiotic resistance. But don't panic. It's not all tales of doom. There are solutions, and I will take you to these solutions one by one. First, the judicious use of antibiotics, that is the use of antibiotics as prescribed by your veterinary doctor or your human physician, will go a long way in curbing the menace of antimicrobial resistance. Medical doctors and veterinarians alike should always make sure that they subject their tissue samples to antibiotic sensitivity testing before making prescriptions. Patients and farmers should also make sure that antibiotics are used for the prescribed length of time. An antibiotic is prescribed for 2 weeks, use it for 2 weeks. Not 1 week or until your symptoms are abated. Farmers are urged to adopt proper hygiene and animal care. Also adopt the principles of biosecurity. it is cheaper and safer in the long run.
There should be a greater emphasis on prevention being better than cure. Examples of these would include the use of probiotics in order to stabilize gut health and hence overall health of the animal. This will go a long way in reducing the need for the use of antibiotics in these systems. The use of vaccines, bacterines, and toxoids also serve to prevent infectious disease processes from taking over the systems and therefore reduce the need for the use of antibiotics and antimicrobials. Adherence to the principles of biosecurity will go a long way in preventing the entry and spread of microbes into the systems. Adherence to recommended stocking density in livestock and aquaculture systems will also help to prevent the spread of antimicrobial resistance. Strict adherence to withdrawal periods helps to prevent the contamination of meat and byproducts with antimicrobial residues, thus preventing the spread of antimicrobial resistance. Incorporation of antimicrobial spot testing into our meat inspection protocols, as has recently been done in the recent editings of the meat inspection laws of Lagos State. It is very important that these tests are done in order to prevent the spread of antimicrobial resistance. Washing and cooking animal products thoroughly will go a long way to decontaminate them before cooking and thus preventing the spread of antimicrobial resistance. Finally, advocacy or stronger regulation to support government policies that ban the use of growth promoters in livestock farming, as well as regulate the use of over-the-counter medications, antibiotic sales, and invest in greater veterinary oversight. Together, we can fight antimicrobial resistance. Antimicrobial resistance is not someone else's problem. It is ours. Protect our food, protect our water, protect our health, preserve the power of antibiotics for future generations. Join the fight, and the time is now.